Greetings, HP Touchpad users. This is Reverend Kyle, your Minister of Mobile Devices. And the big hubbub recently has been that Google has released the Jelly Bean source code, which means that our HP Touchpad might be seeing some new fun sweetness down the road here. I'm sure CyanogenMod 10 will be coming out eventually for our HP Touchpad. The problem is that we are all typically very antsy and we don't want to wait, and so the first thing that I thought I would do is go ahead and see what would happen if I were to put the Google Now feature on our HP Touchpad. It's been floating around now for a week or so that you can actually install the Google Now on an ICS or ice cream sandwich build. So, you know, let's give it a shot. I haven't tried it yet, and I figured if I'm going to try it, I might as well record it for the rest of the universe to see it as well. A couple very basic steps that need to happen here. The first thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to get a file manager of some sort. I use ES File Explorer, and we'll just go into that now here. There we go. Okay, so ES File Explorer, if you go and download this, it's a free app from the market if you don't already have it. Some of you use Root Explorer, whichever is fine. If you do get ES File Explorer, you are going to want to go into the settings, and you're going to want to make sure that you have Root Explorer checked. You've allowed permissions for it, and then Mount File System is also checked, because without those two features, you're not going to be able to accomplish this mission. Okay, so let's pretend like you already have all that set up. We need to go up to our root. You can do that either by going to favorites and then going here to the / for the root. Or if you have up for root set in the settings, you can do that as well. All right, from here we're going to go into System. And here is our build prop file. Now the build prop file, if you've seen some of my other videos in the past, is a way to fool servers and software and whatnot into thinking your device is something other than it really is. So we're going to do that here. We are going to click on our build prop, and we're going to modify it. I'm just going to use the ES Note editor. Okay, a lot of fun stuff in here. The key to this is telling your device that it is allowed to install things from the new SDK, the new 4.1 SDK. And that right now is saying number 15, and we actually need to change that to a 16. So I'm going to just... come on, there we go. So I'm going to take that 15, I'm going to back it out, and I am going to put a 16 there. And that's basically all you do. You don't need to change anything else, and you just save it. Save successfully. Now, in order for this change to take effect, we are going to have to do a reboot. So I'm going to go ahead and reboot here, and I'll be right back as soon as it's done. Okay, device is rebooted now. Let's go in. Unfortunately, Google Play Store has stopped. Unfortunately, YouTube has stopped. Neat. Okay. Well, and that's going to happen because you're not actually running Jelly Bean, but your system thinks you're running Jelly Bean because you modified the build prop. And that's fine, because ultimately we're going to install the Google Now, and then we're going to change our build prop back so that way everything else doesn't stay broken. So let's go back into our ES File Explorer here. Now, there is an APK file out there called velvet.apk, and that is essentially the Google Now installation. I have seen numerous tutorials saying that you need to actually put that APK into the system app directory, and then others who have just said you can just install it. I'm going to try to install it first, but before we do, since Google Now is a replacement for the actual ice cream sandwich Google quick search, we need to get rid of that. So we're going to go up to our root again, and we're going to go into System, and then we're going to go into App. So we're in the main System App folder, and we're looking for the quick search Google quick search box, which is right here, and I'm just going to long tap that, and we are going to rename it. And we're just going to do something very simple. We're going to put a 1 behind it. So it's Google Quick Search box.apk1. And so by changing the name of the extension, it no longer sees that as a... if you continue to get these, unfortunately YouTube has stopped. I'm assuming that it's fine to just continue on without it. But by changing that, it essentially takes it out of the equation here. All right, so I'm just going to take a look here because I don't believe there's any other Velvet here. Okay, there's not. All right, I've already downloaded the velvet.apk file, and it's on the root of my, or it's on my SD card here, and here it is, velvet.apk, and there's plenty of links out there. I'll post one in the website, reverendkyle.com, a link to that file. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit it. For security, your tablet is set to block installation of applications not okay, well, shame on me for not turning that on. Just goes to show I haven't done anything recently with it. Alright, so there hasn't been anything new recently, so this is about where we're at here. Velvet, alright, okay, and install. Application not installed. Well, what did I do wrong here? You know what I'm going to do is I've deleted that APK file. I'm going to go ahead and reboot, or I've renamed the Google Quick Search file, so I'm going to reboot, and then I'm going to come in and then I'm going to install this. So I'm just going to go ahead and reboot one more time here, and I will be right back. Okay, so we're rebooted, we're back in. I'm going to hit OK to these messages, and let's just give it the old college try here and see if it'll allow us to install the APK file. Like I said before, some people were stating that just tapping it and trying to install it would work. Other people were saying you have to actually put it into the system app folder. That's fine. That's why I do these videos, is so that way you can actually allow me to do the trial and error, and once I come up with a valid way of doing something, you guys can duplicate it. So we're going to go down here and we're going to hit Velvet, and we're going to say install, and it's attempting to install. Notice that this time around it didn't ask if I want to replace what's already there, and now it does say application installed. So I'm thinking that the problem here is that I didn't reboot, and that original Quick Search, Google Quick Search APK was still loaded resident. Okay, this is very important. Do not hit open. Hit done. You do not want to hit open. If you hit open, it will cause all sorts of chaos to occur. The next thing we need to do before we do our final reboot is we need to go back into our system, and we need to go back into our build prop, and again with the ES Note editor, and we need to change our RO build version SDK. We actually need to change that back to 15. If we don't do that, like I said, it's going to cause all sorts of chaos. So we do want to go ahead and change that back to 15, and we hit save successfully, and we're done. And I'm just going to go ahead and reboot now one last time, and then when I come back we are going to play around with Google Now. Alright, final reboot is complete. Let's unlock and let's go see what we've got here. Now, I believe earlier I just had a magnifying glass up there instead of Google. Let me tap that Google there and see what I get. White screen. Network error. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Permission requested. Sure, we'll give it permission. Allow access. So that's allowing access to the my Google option here, my Google account. Let's see here. Let's go see if it finds me a beer. Okay, well, this is interesting. It's given me a very warped... Oh, there it goes. It's just taking its time. Search related to beer. Okay. I guess that's... went out and found stuff for me. It's more. Video discussion webs. Okay, let me try something here. If I hit the voice search, I'm just going to choose Google there. Didn't catch that. Try speaking again. Where? See, so apparently the voice search, and this is what I've been told via the interwebs, is that the voice search on the Google Now doesn't quite work yet, and that's okay. Let me see if it will find me a subway. Let's see what it does for me here. Does appear to be a little slow in the draw. It's probably because, quite frankly, it's not meant to be running on this device, so it could just be struggling here. It's just doing a standard search. Maybe I'm doing something wrong here. Let me go take a look and see. There doesn't appear to be anything special in terms of like a now function or anything like that. I mean, there's standard voice search, but there doesn't appear to be anything special. We'll go in here one more time. Network error, checking. Gave me a network error again. Maybe I'm not setting something correctly. Let me check my setting. Google Now, all right. Privacy and accounts. Okay, so it looks like it needs some stuff here. So let's give it some information here. For example, the weather, not selected. Card appears. Let's do always. Sure, why not? Weather location. Wherever I am makes logical sense. Weather units, Fahrenheit. Sorry guys, I'm in the US. Let's see what else we've got. Traffic. Card appears. Wow, look at all these different options here. Okay, so before other commutes, before commute from home, before... Sure, why not? Just give it a couple here. Transportation mode, driving, usually heavy traffic. Around my neighborhood, there it is, definitely. Okay, so public transit, card appears when traveling and around bus stops. Well, that'll be interesting because I have a bus stop right outside my home. Okay, standard notifications, tablet search. Okay, and privacy controls, location, sure, find out where I am. Fantastic. Okay, let's see if it finds me a subway this time. Aha! Hey, look at that. It did. It found me a subway right up the street from my location, and it's actually opening up maps, and it's giving me driving instructions to it. Very neat. Very, very neat. So let's see what else we've got. I've got Google Web results. It's going out and doing that. Let's see here. Can we see what it does in terms for the bus? Oh, okay. So cool. It shows me a couple bus stops around my area. Also gives an option for web results. Now this is what they call the card. I'm assuming I'm supposed to be able to just I thought we were going to be able to just flip it or do something to it. So maybe not. Okay, so you get the idea, something to play with. It does work, it's just unfortunately the voice doesn't work. Let's give it one more try here. Hello, hello, hello. Nope, retry. Okay, well, again, this is something that you've only renamed the Google Quick Search. So if you ever wanted to get rid of this, you could go in and uninstall the Velvet, and then you could go back and rename your Google Quick Search back to its normal name and get right back to where you were. Or you could just do a factory reset and reflash a nightly ROM. Either way. So anyway, this was something that we wanted to play with. Google Now on an ICS device, HP Touchpad, one of the most amazing Android devices that I've ever laid my hands on. So I encourage you, if you are daring enough to go out and play with this, or you can wait the proverbial 2 weeks until CyanogenMod 10 comes out, and then you can install it there and have all sorts of lovely jelly bean goodness for your touchpad. So this has been Reverend Kyle showing you how the Google Now works on your HP touchpad.